Hard Rockology Show, Chris and Matt. Sertraline is the band. The song is called Set the World Alight from the band's latest release, Bury the Ghost. And I want to welcome to the show from the band, vocalist Lizzie Parry. Lizzie, welcome to the Hard Rockology Show.
Hi guys, thanks for having me.
Now, I do have a question for you because the band's relatively new. I know the band formed last year, basically the remnants of Blue Origin, which I guess 4 of the original members are still in the band right now, minus the lead singer. So why don't we go back a little bit further and just find out exactly what happened there, and then how basically the band came together.
Well, as far as I know, I mean, Blue Origin have been going for probably 9 years. So I think what they were doing was they were growing apart musically. So I think the singer wanted to go in a slightly different direction to the rest of the guys. So they just decided to call time on Blue Origin, and then they were like, well, we want to keep making new music, so why don't we just get in a new singer? So I actually found, they posted an advert online, and I actually found that, because I didn't know any of them beforehand. So I found that advert and just sent an email and went to meet them one day and sang a few songs, and that's it really. They actually, I went to Blue Origin's last gig, and because Set the World Alight was already written, and they were playing it at that gig, with the old singer, they actually got me on stage instead of the singer at the time to sing that song, and that was the first time I played on stage with them, so that was pretty crazy, but yeah, that's how we got together.
So that being said, were some of the tracks that are on Bury the Ghost, were those some tracks that were originally written for Blue Origin, or did you come in there and rewrite most of the songs?
Yeah, Blue Origin had written one album already, and I think they were preparing for their second one when they decided to disband. And Set the World Alight and Dead Set were already written, but they're not the tracks that you're hearing on Bury the Ghost. They are very different. If you were to listen to the Blue Origin recording and then the Sertraline recording, they're miles apart, to be honest. But it was great to work on them because I got to put my stamp on it.
So how far into the process, I mean, because you guys relatively quickly were able to put together another 4 or 5 songs and go into the studio. Were those songs pretty much jammed out, all 5 of you guys, or how did that work out exactly? And are you responsible for some of the lyrics on some of those tracks as well?
Yeah, well, we literally, when we put the band together, that studio time was already booked for the end of September, and we officially formed as a band on the 4th of August last year. So we literally locked ourselves away for just less than 2 months and wrote the rest of the EP. And yeah, I mean, the majority of the lyrics for everything else I did write, and me and Josh, one of the guitarists, we did a lot of sort of sitting down in his living room with an acoustic guitar and jamming out ideas and things, and he did have a lot of input on the lyrics too, so that was really good that we were able to work together. And we have our own studio space that we rent. We literally were there like all hours of the night and stuff, just putting everything together. And it was really nice to have we could do it all in our own time and not be limited by not having a place to practice or anything like that. So it was really good.
So Lizzie, if someone came up to you and said, hey, how do you describe your band's sound, what would you tell them?
God, I get asked this a lot, and it's really difficult because there's so many different elements in there. Like, we describe ourselves as rock/metal, but it's melodic metal, but there is progressive elements in there, and you know, we've got a few like electronic things, like we play around with guitar tones and stuff, and modify how a guitar sounds on the track. And it's really weird because we get asked to compare ourselves to existing artists, and we find it really difficult, which I guess is a good thing because you want to be different to other people that are out there.
When did you first start singing, and who were some of the influences that inspired you?
Well, I never took singing seriously until I was about 18. In my teens, like when I was growing up, I listened to a lot of Funeral for a Friend, Bullet for My Valentine, 30 Seconds to Mars, artists like that. But I'm also like, when I was very, very young, my dad's a massive AC/DC, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple kind of guy, so I had all those around me when I was growing up, and then I moved into sort of finding what I liked, and then I like a lot of the melodic female fronted bands like Paramore and Paris and stuff like that. They really influenced me as a female singer. And I actually trained in musical theatre for 3 years, so theatre artists as well are massive influences for me. So it's kind of a mishmash of lots of things, really.
Is this your first professional band that you've sang for, or have you sang before? Because I was looking up to see if there's anything else I could find on you, and I couldn't find much of anything. So, I mean, is this your first real experience getting up there and singing in front of a live audience?
Well, I did, like I said, I trained in theatre, so I've been in a lot of theatre shows in front of lots of people and singing on my own and stuff in front of those audiences. But yeah, this is my first serious band. I mean, I was in a band while I was in college, but it was just sort of messing around, really. It wasn't anything serious, and that sort of made me go, actually, this is actually what I want to do. And so I went out, and it's really hard to find people that are into the same music as you, want to write the same music as you, and that have the same passion and drive and determination. So it was really great when I found these guys, because I thought, yeah, this could really work.
So I'll ask you this, because you mentioned the theater and the stage work, and I've had a chance to watch some of your live footage on YouTube, and you guys, I mean, I know that the rest of the band pretty much were together for a long period of time, and they got some great stage presence, but you're the center front of the stage, you're the singer, and just watching you up there on stage, I mean, you really do command the stage and have a great stage presence. So I'm going to take it that your years in theater helped out in that regard.
Oh, definitely. Well, thank you, first of all. That's really nice to know. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's taken me a long time, confidence-wise, to get to where I am. Like, when I was 18 and I moved away and started performing professionally, I was like, I wasn't who I am right now. So I definitely needed that time to sort of get to where I am. And I definitely feel like the 5 of us have a really great connection on stage, and we love what we're doing. So we put 100% energy into everything, and we love it. So.
Lizzie, is there like a lot of competition from other bands in the UK? I mean, do a lot of the bands get along really well, or is there like a lot of fierce competition going on?
Yeah, there is, because obviously the UK is quite a small place, and there are so many bands, like, not necessarily in the same genre as us, but we play with a lot of different kinds of bands, and overall I'd say it was definitely a good atmosphere. Like, it's not, you don't walk into a room with other bands and go, oh, it's really tense and, you know, we're competing against each other to be the best. It's not like that at all. Like, everyone just has a laugh, really, because at the end of the day, everyone's there to enjoy it and have fun, and we don't really think about the competitive side of it. We just try and do our best and hope that, you know, everyone enjoys it and, you know, see where it goes, because ideally, obviously, we do want to get somewhere, but as long as we have fun and enjoy it, that's the main thing.
So let's talk about some tracks off the record you just released, Bury the Ghost. Do you have any favorites or any in particular that stand out, saying, hey, I really like this song, I'm really proud of what we accomplished on this?
Oh, well, I know I'm probably supposed to say this, but I am so proud of all of them, especially in the time that we wrote it in. But I think my favourite probably is All Choked Up, which is the last track on the album. It's probably the most emotional one for me, just in terms of how I was feeling when I wrote it. I mean, me and Josh worked really hard on the lyrics for that one, and I think it means quite a lot to both of us, that song does.
You've mentioned Josh several times now. So is Josh one of the primary songwriters for the band, or is it pretty much a group thing, or is there specific members of the band that bring different things to the table? Like maybe to Josh, does he do lyrics and some of the riffs, or how exactly does that work for you guys? Or I'll ask you this, is it more of a jam session and then whatever you guys come up with, it's just a group writing credit?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a team effort. Usually how our writing works is we get into our studio space and, like you say, we just jam out and see what we can come up with. Like, usually someone, Hendo, our bass player, or Josh will have a riff that they've been, you know, working out at home or whatever, and they'll start that, and then we just sort of build around it, and if there's parts we like, we'll take them and work on them some more, and maybe drop the other parts that didn't work so well. But yeah, it's definitely a joint effort. I mean, me and Josh as well do a lot of, you know, acoustic jamming, just the two of us, if we get time, which is always fun, and he does help me with lyrics a lot, so that's good as well.
Now, for fans out there, or for people out there that haven't had a chance to listen to the band or listen to any of the tracks that are on this album, if you had to pick the one track on this album, I know you already mentioned All Choked Up being probably one of your favorites. What one track on this, if you had one shot for somebody to listen to and say, this is what we're about, this is what I want you to hear, what track would that be?
It would definitely be Set the World Alight. I mean, that was our first single. That was the first thing anyone ever heard from us, and that was what we wanted people to hear, because it sums up, it gives a little bit of everything. Like, it's got the soft breakdown section in the middle, and it's got the fast-paced beginning and end, and it's got, you know, the catchy hook in the chorus. It's got everything that we want to have in our songs, and it's what we think it's a good first impression of what we're about.
All right, and for our listeners out there, if you haven't had a chance to check out this video, I recommend going to YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. Yeah,
Going to YouTube and checking it out, right? It's on there.
Yeah, I recommend going to YouTube.
What's the video called, just so Matt, so we know again, so our listeners know too?
Set the World Alight.
Set the World Alight, yeah.
Yeah, I do have a question. At the end of the video, the girl's sitting there with the gun. So does she shoot, or what does she do with that gun? What's going on there?
Well, if you listen very carefully, it's not in the actual original track, but in the video there is a gunshot at the end of the video, so you can take that how you want, because you don't actually see her shooting anyone. She could be shooting the air, you know, it's completely open to interpretation.
So whose idea was it for the video? Was it your idea, or was it the director's idea, or the whole group in general?
Well, we all inputted ideas, but we did leave it in the very capable hands of Pav, who directed our video. He was amazing to work with. He was, you know, the brains behind the operation, if you like. He knew exactly what he wanted. He had this vision, because he's a massive fan of the band. Like, he comes to see us quite often when we play live, and we're working with him again actually very shortly.
Okay, so what's the plan for the band coming up in the next couple of months, or for the rest of 2015? What do you guys have going on?
Well, we've got a couple of announcements to make at the start of August, and you're getting a bit of an exclusive here, because we haven't said anything yet with regards to what those announcements are, but we are planning to release a second single and video in the back end of this year, plus we'll be doing a UK tour as well, so everyone needs to keep their eyes open for that, because it'll be announced in August, beginning of August, I think.
And people can find out about the band. You have Facebook, Twitter. What can we find out about you?
Yeah, Facebook, Twitter. We've got an Instagram as well. We do have an official website, but at the moment that's just sort of a home screen with links to everything else. We're on Spotify, iTunes, most social media, really, and things like that.
What's the website again? What's the address for the website?
The official website is www.wearesertraline.com.
All right, we are Sertraline.com. Okay, we do always on the Hard Rockology Show. Lizzie, we always want to know your Spinal Tap moment so far. What's the best Spinal Tap moment you've had?
Okay, right. I've got this always comes up, this story, and Hendo hates me that I'm telling it to everyone, but it was just, I think it was kind of you had to be there moment, but you'll probably get the funny side, I hope. Basically, we were at our recording studio where we made Bury the Ghost, and it's a residential recording studio, so we were sleeping in the rooms upstairs. And obviously, like being the dedicated singer that I am, I stayed at home on the evenings to rest my voice and, you know, get a good sleep and stuff. And the lads all went out to the pub one night and got pretty fucked up. And they were on their way back to the studio. And have you ever heard of a 50p bet? No, 20p bet.
Haven't heard of it.
Okay, so a 20p bet, if someone bets you 20p, you have to do the bet, whatever it is, like, you just have to. It's just an unwritten rule. It's like pulling shotgun.
Okay.
So,
That's the UK version of shotgun.
Yeah, kind of. Anyway, but Hendo got that 20p to shit on a bus stop, like a bus shelter thing. So it was like, I don't know what time it was like 3 a.m. or something. So he climbed up on this bus shelter, dropped his pants and had a shit on the bus stop, and then then they came back into the studio like residential thing, and all four of them got into my bed, and while I was asleep, And I woke up and they were just there. And then they told me the story. And then Hendo was like, yeah, I haven't wiped my ass. So I was like, oh. It doesn't really have a punchline in the story, but it was really funny at the time.
Well, I'm just impressed that he's able to shit on command like that. That's impressive.
Yeah, I know. It's a pretty good skill. I think we're going to make it a thing so that if we go somewhere or we have to make our mark by Hendo.
I mean, that's an important skill to have. Shit on command. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, I remember going to the circus and watching the elephants do it all the time. So
They shit on command too?
yeah, they just tap the backside and they drop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so never mind.
That's what we need to start doing.
You know what you do? Just get like a stick and you just tap them in the backside and you just
Yeah.
yeah, he just shits on command. I like that. So
Okay, I'm gonna make this, and I'll take a photo of it for you.
all right, Lizzie, I want to thank you for joining us here on the Hard Rockology Show, and like we do with all of our guests, why don't you go ahead and introduce another track off of your latest release, Bury the Ghosts.
Okay, so this is going to be the second single off of Bury the Ghost, and it's about a workaholic, someone who's never satisfied and who you can't get through to, like, no matter how hard you try, and it's called Not Enough.